Welcome to your journey of healing with the Healing Podcast, hosted by licensed clinician Monique Owe and co-host Dr. Amber Moan.
Thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. I am your host, Monique Owe. Dr. Moan is not here with me today. I thank you for your support, and hopefully the Healing Podcast has been something that has been able to help you or someone you know. And today's topic is, didn't intend to hurt you or them. So this topic is about when people hurt you, one thing that they say is, I never intended to hurt you, right? Have you experienced that? Or do you know someone that has experienced that? Or maybe you have been the one to hurt someone else and you have said those words, I never intended to hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt you. And what this is about is I want to say, it is true that people do not plan to hurt you. Other than psychopaths. We're not talking about serial killers and psychopaths because they don't care. That is their intention. We're talking about people who you may care about or may have once cared about in your life. And at times they'll say they didn't intend to hurt you. Now, this is what I mean about people who do not plan. I'm not talking about people, again, who are spiteful, who are evil, who are doing things to purposefully harm you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those moments when someone has told you, maybe they said something to you and it hurt your feelings, and they'll say, oh, I didn't intend to hurt your feelings. That was true. I don't think they woke up that morning and said, my plan today is to say something hurtful to hurt this person I care about feelings. Or when they woke up that morning, they didn't say today's plot is to make sure I hurt this person that I'm in a relationship with. Vice versa, if you were the person who may have hurt someone else. If I ask you, hey, was your plan, did you plot this? Did you plan this? You're more than likely going to say, no, that was not the plan. What happens is, but nonetheless, the hurt ends up coming. So I'm not saying you're not hurt. You are hurt, and that person is probably hurt if you're the one who did it. But the issue is, was that the intention? And here's the thing. No, the intention may not have been to hurt them, and the intention may not have been to hurt you. The fact of the matter is they did hurt you, and you did hurt them. And accountability has to come into play. So while you didn't intend to do it, you didn't plot to do it, or they didn't intend to do it or plot to do it to you, the fact is they did. And whether that could have been in a form of infidelity, a form of cheating, a form of violating your trust, crossing your boundary. And again, I'm not talking about a crime. We're not talking about anything criminal. Or maybe they went into your phone or something. They violated your trust. They disrespected you in some way. A family member who may have betrayed your trust, who may have gone back on their word, who may have bashed you to another family member or friend and you found out about it. Whatever the situation is, a coworker has said something hurtful about you and you're surprised about it. Whatever the case may be, your children may have done it to you. You may have hurt your children, but that wasn't your intention. Maybe you were supposed to take them somewhere and you couldn't for whatever reason and you had to go back on your word. Whatever the case, whatever the situation was, some hurt was involved, right? Now, sometimes it's a natural occurrence, a natural circumstance that prevents you from doing something that you said you would do for someone else. Now, if that is the case, that was out of your control, you didn't intend to do that, you didn't intend for the natural situation or disaster or something to get in the way, and it did, and that caused a chain reaction of hurtful events. No, you didn't plan that. But the fact is, that person got hurt, but that wasn't your intention. But I'm talking about when things like, for example, when you violate somebody's trust, like in a moment of cheating, right? Or maybe you flirted with someone else, or maybe you've been texting someone else, or they were texting someone else, they cheated on you, and you're trying to cope with the hurt. Here's what happens with those things when people never intending to hurt you. Yeah, they didn't plan to hurt you. They don't wake up plotting. The issue is a moment of selfishness gets in the way, a moment of impulse, a lack of control, self-control, impulsive behaviors get in the way, and the desire to want something more than the consideration of your feelings gets in the way. So again, I'm going to say that again. The desire to want this thing more gets in the way of the other person's feelings. Vice versa, the desire of you wanting something more than that other person's feelings got in the way, and hence you have committed a hurtful act, said something hurtful, done something hurtful, and here you are now. You're at odds with this person, or you may no longer be with this person. Or if you're still in a relationship with this person, you guys now have an issue with communication and you don't want to see each other. You don't want to be with each other. You just don't want to be bothered with them anymore because of that hurtful act. Well, here's the thing. Now, that hurtful act keeps happening, and it's been happening over and over. Like if you're dealing with a cheater who keeps cheating, it wasn't a one-time thing. It wasn't a thing that you guys worked through in therapy. It wasn't a thing that you guys now have come back from and been able to be honest with each other. It's something that keeps happening. Well, if you're the person doing that, you need to address the issue in the room. The issue in the relationship is that there's a problem. There is some problem there that is causing you to keep going outside of the relationship. Now, whether you have an issue with communication, whether you have an issue with being able to stand up for what you feel because you're thinking, I don't want to hurt them by leaving. Yeah, but you're also hurting them by cheating. So to keep cheating on the grounds of I don't want to hurt them by leaving, you're doing the same damage. Vice versa. If you're the person who is doing the hurt because you were sneaking behind someone's back and cheating, and because you're saying, I don't want to hurt them by leaving because they need me, so I'd rather just do this on the side. Well, you're doing the same thing. You're in a sense still hurting the person. And if you don't have the ability to communicate with your partner to say this is over, they're no longer fulfilling you, you're no longer fulfilling them, the relationship is over, that is a problem. Because you're going to continue to dig yourself deeper in a ditch because you keep doing the thing to break the trust, to hurt the person, to cause pain. And the thing is, why are you doing that? Why did they do that? Everybody wants the why, right? Why did you hurt me? Why did you cheat? Why did you do it? Why did you break my trust? Sometimes people don't have a good reason of why, because as I've said before, the why doesn't usually give you peace. They can tell you what. Now, if it's a relationship issue, yes. They can say because of your attitude. Your attitude all the time has caused me to withdraw from you, and I got distracted by someone else who was a little more kind and a little more loving and understanding, and I fell into kind of wanting to talk to them, and next thing you know, it went from talking to doing something else to flirting, and next thing you know, you may have gone a little, did something a little bit more intimate, right? Hence the cheating. Either way, sometimes some people's definition of cheating can be different than others. Some people feel like just talking to someone else is cheating. Some people feel like the actual act of doing something physical is cheating. Either way, by your inability or that person's inability to talk to you about the issue, or you being able to be receptive to the issue, hence you have a relationship that involved cheating and again, hurt that has taken place. That person has now hurt you, you have hurt them. And here's the thing. When it comes to an issue where someone says they did not intend to hurt you, you need to look at what the act was. Acknowledge that the act did hurt you. Acknowledge, can you move forward? Is this something that's repairable? Like if someone hurt your feelings by making a comment, well, that's probably repairable. You might be upset for a few days, a little while, but you might be able to come back from that because that happens in relationships all the time, right? Someone may hurt your feelings. They may say something you didn't like. The job to repair is to be able to talk to that person. Tell them why that comment hurt you. Tell them why that statement or that look or that thing they did by going into your phone or by looking through your paperwork, whatever they did hurt you. Let's get to the root of why they did that and what you can do to get past it. That can be worked through, right? So can infidelity. You can work through what was the issue that caused the infidelity. Look in the mirror. Yes, they did the act. We know that. They did the act to hurt you. Shame on them for doing that. You may have done the act to hurt someone else. Shame on you for doing that. But why did it happen? Let's look deeper. We got the act. We know that was the wrong thing to do. But why did it happen? Is there something you're not getting in that relationship? Is there something they were not getting in that relationship? You may be mad with that person today because of the way they hurt you, even though they said they didn't intend to, but you might still be mad and bitter and upset about it. But let's look at it. Was it a person that just blatantly you were doing everything they wanted and next thing you know, they hurt you and now you're just distraught? Well, my question to you is, was it one-sided? Were you doing everything they wanted and they weren't doing not half of what you needed? That's a problem. That right there was the sign. This person may not have been exactly for you or the right person for you. Vice versa. Are they doing everything for you? Were they doing everything for you and you just weren't doing everything for them, or just half of that and not meeting their need? Sometimes you got to look in the mirror. Sometimes it's not the other person. It's you. It's something you were not doing or you were doing too much that may have caused it. Now, I'm not talking about, again, if it's cowardly behavior, like ghosting, and they stop talking to you, that is on them. That is completely on them. And that is their lack of accountability and lack to be able to stand up and tell you how they feel. And here's the other part to that. Once someone tells you how they feel, you got to believe them. Trying to force them to not feel that way, that's probably not going to work. Now, if they're willing to go to therapy and to work through things and to figure out a way to get past and to feel a different way, that perhaps can work. But understand, when someone is honest with you and showing you that a relationship has an issue, you have to be able either to fix the issue, or if you know it's something that can't be fixed, like maybe what they desire from you or what you desire for them, like it just can't happen, then you need to know that and you guys need to part ways. Because if not, staying together is only doing more damage. That is what that situation is doing with somebody not intending to hurt you or you not intending to hurt them. Think about it. Whoever you have done that to, or if you've experienced it, if you stayed in it, did it not cause more pain and hurt? Why are you staying in that? What is holding you? What is holding you there in a situation that's causing you to continue to hurt the person, but you won't do anything about it? What is holding them there what was holding them there that they continue to hurt you and you didn't do anything about it? Meaning, if a person constantly cheats on you and lies on you and disrespects you, why are you there? Is it financial? Do you feel like you can't survive without them? Those are real things. Do you feel like you need their support in other areas? So you feel like if you break away, you'll miss out on that? Those are all real things. And it's true. It does feel that way. But what you're experiencing on that back end, that pain, that's not worth it. That's not how it's supposed to be. Just because you have a need, it's not being you become a doormat. So you got to be careful with that and recognizing, yeah, the intent wasn't there for the pain, but the issue is, yes, it happened. Now what? Now what do you do? And we'll talk about now what you can do when we come back, or when I come back. Going to go into quick segue here. You guessed it, the situation. And today's situation is something online. This is actually something someone sent me from something that they saw online. They thought it was interesting to send. So here we go. My fiancé, this person I guess is engaged and they're thinking about canceling their wedding. It says, my fiancé has 3 children under 13 years old from 2 different women. One of them tricks him into getting her kids. For example, she admitted she was not going to tell him she was leaving on a 6-day vacation and have him take care of the children. She's done things like this multiple times in the past. She found out he got a raise and immediately went to increase his child support. She threatens to always increase it and not let him see the kids. And it's caused a lot of stress on our relationship. I'm overwhelmed with being a new stepmom. I have no children, on top of a wedding and on top of a job that I'm miserable at. He works out of town for 2 weeks and he is home for 2 weeks. And the only thing he really helps me with is the dishes. And occasionally he'll mop the floors. I do everything when he's gone and I do everything when he's here. I work Monday through Friday, and like I said, he gets 14 days off. When he asks me what's wrong and I tell him, it's always an argument. I'm at my breaking point and don't know what to do anymore or what I want. Well, this is definitely a situation where it sounds to me like the wedding should probably be canceled. If you're not ready, if a person like this, if you're going through something like this, or you know someone going through something like this is a situation where I think the wedding should be canceled. And if people are so afraid to cancel a wedding, then postponement. Then you would postpone it, because look at the issues here. One, there's an issue with children and the mothers of the children and some type of communication there. There's an issue there. And you have to understand, when you're going to marry someone that has children, you're not just marrying the person, you're also coming into the life of the children. And you're also dealing with the parent of the child or children, the other parent. So meaning if you're marrying a woman with children, you're going to be dealing with the father, if they're still, somehow in the picture or alive. Same thing if you're marrying a man with children. You're not just marrying the man, you're marrying the children are also going to be a part of your life, as well as the children's mom, if they're alive and in their life somehow. So you have to understand that is coming into your life, and you have to consider, are you ready for that type of change? And if there's a communication issue with that mother or with that other side, yeah, it can cause a lot of strain on the relationship. And then this person also said this person doesn't get any help from their partner. We're grown, and you should be able to help out around the household. It doesn't matter if one person does do the cleaning more than the other, that's fine. But when somebody needs help, or you see the person is stressed and tired, you should be able to pitch in. You should be able to know when your partner may need help. This is both men and women. You got to know when your partner, significant other, needs help. Know when the person you love needs help, like around the house. It could be stressful. This person also has a miserable job, so the job is stressing them out, the relationship is stressing them out, and they're overwhelmed at home. All these things are issues that should be worked out before you say I do. So in this situation, I would say, this wedding should be canceled or at least postponed, because there's some things that need to be worked out, and this person needs to decide if this is truly what they want. I think one thing I'll just say about the wedding thing is sometimes people get so close to the wedding date and they've wanted it for so long that they're afraid to step away from it and walk away from it. Well, it's better to walk away before the wedding than after. That's a whole different set of issues when it comes to divorce, right? So I hope that has been helpful to you if you know someone in that situation, or just hopefully it's been a helpful thing to think about when it comes to matters of relationships and those issues that need to be worked out before you get married. Okay, so before I get back into the topic, I'm going to go ahead and quick word from our sponsor, Healing Expressions.
Are you someone who has been considering therapy? Perhaps someone else has told you that you need to talk to a therapist. Or maybe you're in a relationship and you want to discuss some challenges that you've been facing with your significant other. Maybe there's a communication issue, perhaps an incident of infidelity. Or maybe you just want to strengthen your relationship because you guys are thinking about taking another step. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety or depression, perhaps grief, life stressors, and you just want to share your thoughts with someone. Well, consider contacting Healing Expressions. Healing Expressions is a private practice located in the Atlanta, Georgia area. You will be given a session at an affordable price with a licensed therapist. If this resonates with you, consider going to healingexpressionsllc.com, reading about the practice, and hitting the contact tab to see if you can book a session. All right, thank you so much. And back to the Healing Podcast.
Okay, so back into the topic of, did it intend to hurt you or them? Once you've established the hurt, right, what have they done? They betrayed you. You betrayed them. They're angry. You're hurt. You're crying. They're crying. There may be silent treatment. You may resent them. All those things, right? You may be bitter towards them. You feel betrayed, right? The question is, what are you going to do now? So here's one. If you're the person who has done the hurting and you've apologized and you've taken accountability for it. So again, accountability for what you have done. And you may have been the cause to the end of the relationship, but that doesn't mean the cause of you being miserable for the rest of your life. So that does mean once you have hurt someone, if you've taken accountability for it, and sometimes you may get punished for it if it was something illegal. And again, I don't want to tread too deep into the illegal because that's a whole different thing. But if it's something that caused a consequence, you did repay it. If you paid for it and you suffered from it, that is the repayment. And you can't hold yourself hostage to something you did in the past, especially if you're not that person anymore. Same thing. If the person did something to you and you're still angry with them and still hurt, and you keep blaming them for it, and it's been years, it is time for you to release that thing. So what can you do when someone never intended to hurt you? You got to release it. Yes, acknowledge what they did. Get some treatment if you need therapy. Talk to someone about it. But let that person be. Let them go out of your life. Now, let's say they're a parent of your child or children. No, you can't cut them all the way out because they're a parent. But you keep it strictly at as a parental relationship. We talk about the children. We don't talk about us anymore. It's strictly about the children for as long as we need to until they become adults. And after that, I really don't have to talk to you about the children per se because they're adults. You do have to release it. You do have to do what you have to do to release it, which means talk to a life coach, talk to a therapist. I'm going to say talk to a therapist, psychiatrist if you need to, psychologist, talk to a close friend, but you have to move past it. The other thing is to look inside, look and see, was there something, a sign to show that this issue was going to happen Was there a lack of something that you didn't do once the person hurt you that you didn't protect yourself? Did you stay in something even though the person constantly hurt you and they constantly did things to hurt you? Were you too forgiving? So the other thing is you can't be too forgiving, meaning like, yeah, forgive, but then protect yourself and know when it's time to cut something off. Say if you're the person doing the hurting, know when it's time to stop hurting people and make a better decision to stop doing that. It can't keep being where you hurt and then say sorry. You hurt them and then you say sorry. Because then your apology is not going to be worth anything because you keep doing that thing. You need to get help for the thing that is causing you to do the thing that is hurtful. Same thing if you're the one doing the hurting, you need to find out why you're doing this thing that is hurtful to others. If you don't have a filter, maybe your words can be a little bit more kind, or maybe you can use a little bit more restraint and think before you speak, right? You can do that too. So the other thing is, put yourself in that person's shoes. How would you feel if they constantly did that to you? Think about it. Would you feel okay? Would you be able just to bounce back like nothing? So I want you to consider those things when you're thinking about those times when you said you didn't intend to hurt them, or when they said they didn't intend to hurt you. Yeah, it's true, but you know what the truth is you did hurt them and they did hurt you. Acknowledge the hurt. Don't stay in the hurt. Work on ways to release it. There are ways to hold them accountable. There are ways you can hold yourself accountable, and then you move on. I don't think anyone should be a slave to their past. Should be accountable for the past, yes. And that might mean you don't talk to that person anymore, but that doesn't mean you don't have a life to move on with and to have happiness again. Yes, happiness can be yours, even if you've hurt someone or they've hurt you. Yes, you can have happy moments again and joyful moments. Yes, you can. Because we all have a past. But the past should not be the thing to dictate our complete future. It should not be the control of the future. So, I hope that has been helpful to you and helpful to someone else that you may know if you need to share it. And before I go, I'd like to go ahead and leave you with this. Letting go means to come to the realization that some people are a part of your history, but not a part of your destiny. And that is by Steve Maraboli. I thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. Thank you for your support and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.